Yo, what's going on guys, HyperX here. Welcome back to the video for Elden Ring, and today I want to talk about Colossal weapons, Colossal swords. As of today's patch 1.04, there's been a massive buff to Colossal weapons. To be precise, they have increased Colossal swords and Colossal weapon attack speed and also lowered their recovery times, not including jump attacks. They've also increased the two-handed attack damage of Colossal swords and Colossal weapons. They've increased the physical block rate and guard boost of the Colossal sword, Colossal weapons, Greatsword, Great Hammer, Great Axe, Great Spear, and Halberd weapon classes. And specifically to name call 2, they've also increased the damage of the Grafted Blade Greatsword and the Devourer Scepter, which admittedly isn't a Colossal weapon, but it still falls within this category. So in this video, I want to go through 10 weapons, 10 Colossal weapons, or like 9 plus 1 and a bonus mention that you should get as of patch 1.04 because these have now been buffed. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. If you are Colossal weapon enthusiasts, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you are happy with this update, and of course don't forget to keep it locked for plenty more Elden Ring. First up, we have the Ruins Greatsword. This is one of my favourite ones. It is a Colossal sword. It has a strength requirement of 50, an intellect requirement of 16, and it carries the unique skill Wave of Destruction, where you raise the sword up high and then you strike it against the ground to fire off a wave of gravitational force. It is very powerful. It is a fantastic unique weapon skill, and if you want to get this one, then you simply need to return to Redmane Castle, which of course is where you would have gone when you went to fight Radahn, but you will need to have defeated Radahn first, and then upon returning to that location afterwards, you'll then be able to go in through this boss fog door and you'll be able to do a double battle against the Misbegotten Warrior, shortly followed by the Crucible Knight, and upon defeating both of those, you will get the Ruins Greatsword. Second on the list, we have a fantastic hammer, the Giant Crusher. This thing is huge, it is powerful, it has a strength requirement of 60, nothing else. A scaling in strength, of course, for this weapon. A fantastic, big, meaty strength weapon for those of you guys that are strength boys. And of course, this also has the ability to throw on your own Ash of War, so you can customize this as you see fit. This one is also incredibly easy to get. If you go to the Outer Wall Phantom Tree Site of Grace in the Altus Plateau, then you simply need to work your way up the hill from this location. There will basically be a little camp, and there will be a carriage, which you can then just jump to the back of. You can open the chest, and in doing so, you can loot that to get this weapon. Next up on the list, we have Prelate's Inferno Crozier, a fantastic weapon. Not only does it look awesome, I mean it's red, your boy loves red, but this is also incredibly strong. It has B scaling in strength, E in dex. It has a strength requirement of 45, a dex requirement of 8, and of course it does come with the weapon skill Prelate's Charge. You can swap this out if you want to, but it does of course have that, which is a nice weapon skill. We recently did a video on the combo between this and Bloodflame, and of course you can slam the armament into the ground to create a surge of flames, and then you can charge in, and you can hold this to continue that charge. If you want to get this one, then what you want to do is go over to the Seethwater Terminus Site of Grace, and from there you then want to run towards the castle, go inside the castle, and then you will then find an enemy, an NPC, wielding this very hammer. And then you guessed it, surprise surprise, you go and kill this guy, and he will then drop that weapon. Of course, if we're talking about Colossal weapons, Colossal swords, we cannot not mention the Starscourge Greatsword, the weapon from Radahn himself. This is a fantastic weapon, has an incredible design. I love the look of this one. Of course, when you two-hand it, you are effectively dual wielding them. This one has a strength requirement of 38, a dex requirement of 12, and an intellect requirement of 15. And it carries the unique skill Starcaller Cry, where you bring the two swords together and roar into the skies, pulling in enemies with a gravitational wave. And if you then follow up with an additional input, you will slam down with gravity-infused swords. Of course, if you want to get this one, you need to defeat Radahn and then quite simply take his remembrance back to Roundtable Hold, and you can then trade it for this weapon. Following on from there, one of the ones that was called out explicitly in the patch notes, of course, is the Grafted Blade Greatsword. This is a fantastic looking weapon, a greatsword combined of many other weapons. It kind of looks like the Game of Thrones throne of greatswords. This one has a strength requirement of 40, a dex requirement of 14, and it has the unique weapon skill Oath of Vengeance, where you swear an oath upon the greatsword to avenge the clan, temporarily raising all attributes for a certain duration. While the oath's effects are active, poise will also be increased. If you want to get this one, you simply go to the bottom of Limgrave, and you then go down to Castle Morn. You want to go to the Moangrave Site of Grace, so of course this general location. You'll actually need to go to another Site of Grace if you haven't already done this boss, but by now you probably have. Anyway, go in through the boss fog door, defeat the Leonine Misbegotten Warrior, and you will then get this weapon. After that, we then have the Rotten Great Axe, a fantastic weapon, an awesome axe. It also carries Scarlet Rot build-up on this one, which is nice, making it one of these Scarlet Rot weapons. has a strength requirement of 30, a dex requirement of 10, and if you want to get this one, then you need to go all the way up to the Consecrated Snowfield, which of course is the other snowy area. If you haven't got access to this, you can check out the video on the channel, but if you go over to the Liturgical Town Site of Grace, and you then go to this location here, you will basically see a gladiator, and you simply kill him, and he will then drop this weapon. After that, we then have the Fallingstar Beast Jaw, a fantastic looking weapon, really cool, love the sort of claw design of this one, and this has a strength requirement of 34, an intellect requirement of 20, and a dex requirement of 12, and it carries the unique weapon skill Gravity Bolt, where you imbue the jaw of the Fallingstar Beast with gravitational lightning, sending a bolt crashing down a short distance away, and you can then fire this in rapid succession if you keep pressing this. This is a fantastic weapon, definitely one worth using, definitely one of the better weapons out there, and if you want to get this one, you need to go over towards the sort of Volcano Manor area. You want to go to the 9th Mount Gelmir campsite, and you then, from the spawn, simply want to get onto your horse, jump up high, and then when you get to this location, there will ordinarily be a boss. This is one of the few things that I actually forgot to record at the time, but there is a Falling Beast boss here. You defeat that, and upon doing so, it will drop the weapon. So this is where you want to go. Following on from there, we then have the Devourer Scepter, another one of the weapons that was called out in the patch notes. This is the one that is technically not a colossal weapon, but it is a great hammer. Has a strength requirement of 24, a dex requirement of 20, and a faith requirement of 25. And it has a rather awesome unique weapon skill, which is Devourer of Worlds. You charge the scepter with magic and strike it against the ground to steal HP of all nearby enemies. If you want to get this one, then the best time to do this is, of course, after you completed Volcano Manor and you have defeated Rykard. Then, of course, assuming you have cleared out the area and the chap that normally sits in this seat has gone, then what you want to do is make your way over to Faramazula, go to the Beside the Great Bridge Site of Grace, and follow the path that I take right now. You basically go out the stairs, up to the top, and you then take a left instead, running back towards the sort of building, the temple area, and eventually we will take a ladder down, and then you walk down this walkway, walk towards the very end, but you can of course avoid going inside because you'll then trigger some more enemies. But when you go here, you will then be invaded by Recusant Bonal, and you simply need to defeat him, and you will get this item. Again, if he does not spawn for you, then you'll probably need to go back to Volcano Manor and either speak to him, or of course complete what you're doing there. But assuming you have done that, he should spawn here, kill him, and you get the weapon. Following on from there, we then have the Dragon Greatclaw, which is a colossal weapon. This has a strength requirement of 30, a dex requirement of 14, and this one carries the skill Endure, where you assume an anchored stance to brace for incoming attacks, briefly boosting poise. Damage taken whilst using this skill is, of course, reduced. If you want to get this one, you need to go over to the Altus Plateau and work your way over to here. This is one of the sort of necessary fights you need to do in order to get into the capital. Again, this is unfortunately one of the other few things that I did not record. I've recorded pretty much everything in this entire game, but there is basically a tree sentinel that will normally be right here before you can of course go into the capital. Upon defeating him, you will get this weapon, and you'll also get his shield, which is another fantastic weapon, so do that and you can grab it. After that, we then have the Staff of the Avatar, which is another strike type colossal weapon. This has a strength requirement of 34, a faith requirement of 24, and a dex requirement of 8. And it carries the unique skill Erd Tree Slam, where you jump up high into the air and crash down on the ground ahead. The resulting pratfall sends golden shockwaves in all directions. This is the most powerful of all the ground slam skills. If you want to get this one, then you'll need to get to the Great Waterfall Crest Site of Grace, which of course is in Deep Root Depths. This is a location you will of course get to if you've gone through Fee's questline, and once you go here to the Site of Grace, you will then basically simply need to run forward. To the left, there will be an Erd Tree Avatar, and you will then just defeat it and get this weapon. And then finally, as a quick bonus mention, of course we've gone through 10 already. This one is not a colossal weapon, but it is a colossal sword, and of course it is a fantastic weapon, definitely worth getting. This is the Greatsword, the Guts Greatsword basically, if you want to do the Guts cosplay, but also this is just a fantastic weapon. It's really strong, has a strength requirement of 31, a dex requirement of 12. You can of course apply your own Ashes of War to this one, and if you haven't got it, then all you need to do is go over to Caelid, go to the Calum Ruins Site of Grace, or of course one of the other ones, and simply run along the road to this carriage, go into the back of it, loot the back of it, and that will give you the sword. So there you have it. There's a little rundown on 10 colossal weapons that you should get as of patch 1.04 since they have been buffed. If you guys did enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. If you've missed our recent videos, be sure to check out one of these ones linked on screen right now, and keep it up on the channel for plenty more Elden Ring.